Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So, no insights. I thought the last one was just a good reading and I still have time, so let's try one more. So today we're going to use Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle with numerology. I'm hearing be nice to your mom. Okay, one second. I'm gonna close that door again. Okay, so as I said, numerology, and then we got mermaids and dolphins. So I shook up the numerology, and the first one to come out was parenting. That doesn't show up well. We got compassion with adventure in reverse. So the first thing I heard was be nice to your mom, but the adventure in reverse with the compassion, I feel like you should take your mom out somewhere, go on an adventure, go do something, create a memory, because you never know what will happen. So what did I see? Obviously time is short, right? When it comes to our loved ones, we've got to make time every day and just appreciate them while you're here. But that's not even what I feel like this reading's about. I'm hearing someone be like, call your mom, go take your mom out somewhere, whatever. Like, if you live close to your mom, it's totally doable. If they live super far away, just give them a call. But what I'm getting, as it said, you don't know what will happen. I feel like when you're out, by nurturing that bond, right, it has something to do with like the ancestors and something like that. But I'm feeling like a moment, or you're going to run into someone, or something's going to happen that's outside yourself. So what do we got here? We've got accept heaven's help with you've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. You got simplify your life. It says eliminate clutter from your home, work life to balance the flow of activities. And then divine magical. It says extra magical energy supports your situation right now, so expect miracles. Right, so in the past, we've got clarifying what that is the parenting. I feel like that there's things within your bonds or relationship that you have hoped for, right? You asked spirit, you're like, you know what? I really need help. And as they said, you've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let us help you, right? You've sent this message off. And as this one said, eliminate clutter from your home and work life to balance workflow and activities. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing someone be so busy with work or something all the time that they just don't have time for other people. And that's why they're saying, give your parents a call. They miss you, they love you, they've been thinking about you, but they know that you're really busy, so they don't want to like be that burden. They're like, I would go, but I'd call them, but every time I call them, they're busy. So they're saying, you need to balance your work life with your personal life and all those things. And so with the divine magic, again, I'm getting that something really cool is going to happen when you finally get together and do this. I see it as like something to do with ancestors, the ancestors and blessings. It's like they want to give you something. Spirit wants to gift you something, but it seems to be a block in the lineage or something like that. And when you go out and you make time, I'm seeing it be open and happy and something like that. And so in that moment, you're in a better place to receive. And whatever it is that you're supposed to receive in that moment is like what you've been praying for. Do I feel like it's a thing? Well, it does involve physical activity. It's a doing, not a thing. We've got love in reverse, and I put that one over parenting and asking for help. So maybe you don't get along with your parents. Maybe there's such a disconnect or something. But by you making time for them, talking, right, going out for lunch or something, I feel like a conversation might get sparked up. And then I'd be like, oh, but when I was your age, I did it this way. And you're like, what? Like, I never knew that about you. With that comes understanding and healing. So I'm actually being drawn to the movie Descendants, like the Disney cartoon, musical, whatever. But like the fourth one, the new one, that has like Rita Ora as the Queen of Hearts. And with that, she's this like mean, controlling, right? Like love ain't it. And so that's why love's in reverse. So I feel like so in it, she has a kid, right? Because Descendants are all about the villains, the kids of villains. And it's like, do they carry on the roles that their parents had, or do they come with a clean slate? So maybe that's a little bit in your story. But they go back in time, and there's this moment where she gets to meet her mom at the same age. And in it, right, she was trying to control something or manipulate something, and she's like, why can't you just be nice? Why can't you just love and be a good person? And she looked at her daughter and was like, you know, at that age, like, we weren't too separate. We were very similar. And so you go back in time, they go back in time, and they meet the Queen of Hearts when she was younger, and it was Bridget, which is funny because in the last energy was all Bridget energy, and they called her a bitch, right? The Queen of Swords in that one, and I just filmed that like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, Queen of Swords. But when they actually went back to when she was a child, she was this like cute cupcake, like super pink, which there is one more card I haven't got to, the abundance card, that landed on the adventure with the magical divine timing. So when they go back and see her, they realize that she was this like super sweet cupcake, like loving everyone, but something happened to her. A prank was pulled on her, and that's when she's like, no, like shut her heart down and became the Queen of Hearts. So that's what I'm seeing here with this love. Love ain't it. Maybe you didn't get the love. Maybe you've been praying for love or something like that. Maybe your parents aren't very affectionate people, and you're like, spirit, I just want someone, right? You want a partnership. But maybe by going out with your family, you go out there and you meet the significant love of your life, right? I feel like when you guys are together, there's something to happen. There's this communication that it makes you see things in a different way, and you're like, wow, I understand it now. And by having that healing moment, that's when I feel like this divine magic happens. It's like you've already asked for it. We kind of guided you where to go. And this message is for that person who always is like, I should call my mom, I should do this, I should whatever. Maybe your father as well, but I mostly heard mom. We've got parenting. It's a parenting card. We got confidence, solar plexus with the blue. Time for you to confidently call them up and be like, how you doing? I love you. Would you like to physically go and go somewhere with me? Somewhere simple. It doesn't have to be this complex thing. Just a place where you guys can kind of just talk, mostly, is the main thing. Because that's what I said. I feel like you're going to have insights on the way that they are. And with that, you're like, oh, I understand. And from that, this extra magical energy surrounds your situation. It says expect miracles. And what landed on top of that at miracles is that sugary, sweet, pink, it's 88. There's the parent and the child, both on their own loop. But I'm seeing that again as that Bridget energy. She was like super pink in it. Maybe I'm going to download that song. There's like 2 songs. I'll put them in the description if you want to watch them. If not, it's on Disney and you can go watch it. For the record, I didn't really like the movie. I was so excited. It started off so good. I was like, when I watched the first ones, I was like, you know, I can see how this is like a good show for like kids, but I wish it was a little bit more adult. The 1 to 3 kind of reminded me of like High School Musical, and High School Musical came out, I was a little bit too old for it. So I love musicals. I was like, I wish it was a little bit more adult. I wish it had like, you know, and then that's what happened with the fourth one. Then to find out it's like Alice in Wonderland type stuff, I was like, I love it even more. But I got like all my wishes, right? They brought in these actors, got Brandy, got Rita Ora, you got all these singers. It's so good, love musicals. But the story itself, I didn't like, because it was good. It was really good. There's so much writing in it, but the ending was just like, oh, done, complete. And I feel like that was just like the first quarter. Like that should have been made so much longer, because there's so much more there's so much more missing. And that's why now I'm coming back to this parenting. There's something missing. So that's what Spirit's kind of saying. Give them a call. Something's up. Something to do with a little bit of healing. And hey, look at this. So ask for help with love and parenting. We got let yourself receive. Allow others to give you loving care. Receive without any guilt or apologies. So it almost looks like the parent braiding the daughter's hair. And as it said, receive without guilt or apologies. Maybe that's what like your parenting style or their parenting style was in the past. Maybe it did make you feel bad or guilty for whatever it was, or maybe you made yourself feel that, and all your parents wanted to do was just love you unconditionally, but you're like, no, like I don't know how to accept your love, right? And so talking and communicating will help that. So with physical activity, we do have positive energy. That positivity was in reverse, and it landed on compassion. There's a little bit need to, I almost feel like, you know, when you actually are physically active, it pumps the heart. There's something to do with a little bit of heart in this. And I feel like when you move, you physically let things go, right? You're kind of in your adrenaline or endorphins or something. That's what I'm seeing, is like, you could go to them and I say like sit for coffee at their house or something, but that's not what I see. I see you going to them. I see you guys physically going somewhere that maybe you both haven't been, and getting to experience a moment for the first time, that it brings out conversations where you both can connect. Because it's new, you're like, oh, this is my perception, and they're like, this is my perception. So the next one over is set your sights higher, and it was in reverse. Because there is this divine magic coming, because you've already asked for help. You got this abundance. All you have to do is go on that adventure. You have to go somewhere. And once you do that, I feel like it said set your sights higher. You don't need to set your sights higher, because you're going to get exactly what you've been asking for. And that's what you want. That's your heart's wishes. That's your dream. So, Spirit, we've got enough about this parent talk. I want to know about the situation. And they're like, no, I don't get to know. Damn. Okay. Well, what's my question then? Is there more questions, or are we kind of done? Is this just like a really short and simple sweet thing? And I think it is, because it says it's time to simplify. Yeah. Whatever it is that you've been energetically like wishing and hoping and praying for, I feel a little bit of healing coming when it comes to connecting with your parents. Learning how to communicate and give and receive love, especially if you're an adult now. I see you being too busy and life saying simplify. We need to find that balance between work, home, and life, love, right? Maybe you already have found that love of your life. Earlier it was like wanting love and then going out with your parents and finding that love randomly. But what I'm seeing is maybe someone already has that love, and so you do need to balance. Call your mom. That's all I keep hearing. Make time. You have the time. You really do. There's like 24 hours in a day, and I know that we always say we're like so busy, but for me, I'm not really busy. But here's the thing. Energetically or mentally, I can be burnt out, and that means I don't have enough time. It's because I don't have enough energy. So you kind of control where your energy comes, right? We had all this positive energy and a little bit of compassion to come with physical. It's saying surround yourself with positivity and situations and avoid the negative ones, because the more and more you keep focusing on the lack or the negative, it kind of depletes and drains your cup. And so if you really wanted to, right? If someone really wanted to, they would find the time and the energy. Because like this one says, accept heaven's help and that there's divine magic behind the scenes. By you just staying in the positivity and not feeling bad about not calling them, right? There was that one about no guilt, no shame, no apologies. Just make the effort, make time, is what they're saying. And by doing that, I see leaving all that bad feeling energy about, so sorry I didn't make time for you, blah, 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 like talking about the negativity of the past, how things were brought up. It's like, just go and enjoy a moment. And they said, make it be new, make it a new experience, physically walk there, go there, and let whatever comes up and out, because that's a very healing moment and it's divinely orchestrated from spirit. There's divine magic and you're going to get exactly what you want in that moment. So we'll leave it there. Have a good day and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Oh, hi again. I thought we were doing a really short, sweet, simple one, but as I was uploading it, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to add those Disney Descendant songs. So I went, I watched them, and then after that I was like, damn, I don't even remember what I said yesterday. So I watched my video just to like make sure I didn't say something you'd regret, and I realized that it wasn't a complete story. That how could you bring in all this Alice in Wonderland theme and not actually use the Wonderland Tarot? So I realized, remember when I was like at one point, see, I don't really remember exactly what was said yesterday. It's kind of been let go. This is going to be a new energy, but it was like, you go with your parent, you go somewhere, and then there's like something to come or some adventure, right? Alice in Wonderland, going down the rabbit hole on an adventure. So I wasn't allowed to hear it in those cards because those weren't the proper cards. I get to hear it in these cards. And so as I was kind of clearing up space, getting rid of all the old decks, I was about to put these ones away, Disney's villains. So that one we're also going to use because I feel like it needs to be, especially with the Descendants videos. Okay. I'm hearing 7. 7. What is 7? Okay. How do you want to? Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. No. Was that 3? That's 3. 5, 6, and 7. And for Disney villains, they say just take 3. You know what I like about this deck? I really like how colorful they are. What I don't like about this deck is like they put all the effort into the major arcana, but when it comes to the minor arcana, it's whenever a tarot deck just like takes one thing and they're like, here it is twice, here it is 3 times, 4 times, but they never actually put like, there's so much symbology to each card that I feel like each one needs to have its own, touch. All right, 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, let's not put them back because one time I'm gonna be like, we need more Alice in Wonderland. Woo. So I have 7 Alice in Wonderland cards. They kind of had me put it out in like 3s, and then there's one in the middle. That's the 7th one. But when they showed me, they showed it as the chakra system. But then they kind of showed the spiral, and like, yeah. So we got left, we got right. We got one in the middle. The one in the middle is 9 of Swords. We got left, we got right. We got someone staying up at night. That there's all this worry in their head. Look, he can't sleep. He's thinking about things. It's like something's looming over him. The time on the clock is 2:20. 2:2. with the 0. They're showing me that the 0 should be put in the middle. It should be 202. 202. Okay, so then we go to the top and we have, like, what is this? Is this, okay, so left, masculine, feminine, all within 1. Then we have 3 over here. So to start off in the top, I feel like this is more the mental energy. We've got, on the masculine side, we've got King of Pentacles, right? We've got the Mad Hatter sitting there at his party. And I wonder, is this too close? Like, where do you guys prefer? Like, I don't know where the right spot is. But anyways, we got that. And then on the feminine side, we have Ace of Cups. So together in the mental, the masculine is, okay, the only thing that's really drawing me out here is 2 things, actually. 3 things. First, it went to the tree. And it showed me one of those, like, huge, massive, like, Balboa, whatever one trees. Like, those trunks are, like, thousands and thousands of kilometers around. Then it went to the magic lamp. It's a teapot, but I'm seeing it as a magic lamp. I'm seeing Genie kind of wishes. And then I saw his hand in between the 2. So from that to the tree, there's something to do with a gift, a touch. And so when I look over at the feminine, there's a hand coming into this, giving the cup. So something to do. I'm seeing mentally. Oh yeah. Okay. So last night's. All right, we're still in the same freaking reading. All right, so for the last portion of the reading, it was all about, like, saying, like, hey, you should take your parent out for, you know, lunch or dinner or tea or something like that. And so that's what I'm seeing. It's literally sitting at a tea party. And we've got the tree, which is the ancestral tree, with the roots. It kept saying the ancestors want to give you a gift. So that's just like in the mental kind of all that energy. There's someone, right, as it said, that there just wasn't love. There was something keeping you up at night. Sorry, my cat's trying to get in. I've got to let him in. Hello, Monstadino. Welcome. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, so it really feels like that there's this huge healing thing, because as it said in the past, it was like something about, by going into the past, you're going to realize that you guys went through similar things. So I want to go quickly over to the villains first. So I've got the Fool. So Fool is showing me young energy in the past, right? You kind of went off on this thing and something happened. We've got the Hierophant in reverse, which is all about someone kind of being structured. It's mostly organizations, or which could be like school, marriage, religion, something like that. And it's like you not quite fitting into the structure of what it is that you're supposed to be put in. And then from there, we have Temperance with the 2 eels, kind of bringing back the ebb and the flow. So now it's bringing me back to the 7 here, right? We got the ebb and the flow. We got the masculine energy and the feminine energy. What I find interesting about these eels is I believe that they're Ursulas, but if you go back to the previous reference with the descendants, the main villain in the 4th one is Ursula's baby sister. And so that's what I see here. It's like being like the main villain, like the boss, but it was in reverse. And this one kind of gave me like little baby, like it's a sheep, right? And so the sheep kind of shows me as like a little baby. Little baby energy. So it's back in the young days when you were like foolish and going on adventures, because there's something to happen when you go and you sit and you realize that spirit has something to give you, your ancestors. There's something of knowledge for you to connect and understand and heal the bloodlines, I'm hearing. What about the magic lamp? Those are just hopes and wishes and dreams. There's more to it. There's something to do with that time. when you're out and about. And I was just like tripping all of a sudden. I was like, what time are we talking about? Like, I swear I just talked about 2:02 when it was really 2:20. And I was like, did I say that in a different reading? I'm kind of getting a little mishmash with that, with the yesterdays and the todays, but I forgot. It's that one where you can't sleep at night. It's like 2 a.m. I'm hearing blues, and I'm seeing a lot of blue. So the next one to come out in the next layer is 2 of Cups. And again, it's a card focused on the tea party with 2 people coming together to fill up the cup. And then underneath that, we have Ace of Wands in reverse. So again, on the masculine side, I keep seeing kind of the same energy. There's a little bit of madness on this side, but what I keep getting from it is like stability, right? There is the Mad Hatter, and the March Hare is also mad, as the Cheshire Cat says. But what I'm getting from this is a lot of stability, right? There's all those trees in the background, and it's like the table, and it's like the cakes and the sweets. That's cakes. Drinks, that's what I was trying to say. All the little different things, the finger foods, the games, the everything. It's already provided for. So that's what I'm kind of seeing, is like one being very much material, right? Manifested in the 3D. Pentacles, and that one's Cups. And then what I find interesting on the other side is Ace of Cups and Ace of Wands. This side both has the tea party. This side is like new something, right? A new opportunity, new something. And then here we have that fire energy in reverse. So again, if we're really going to bring in this villain energy and the Wonderland, that Wands is fire, and fire is red. So go back to the Descendants. That's more of the next generation, and she wants to try something new. She wants to do something that's a little unique. To follow up, we have Justice in reverse, followed by the 4 of Swords. So when you look at Justice, there's this contract, and this contract is so important. If you listen to the first song, it's like, we're supposed to rule for 1,000 years. But it's in reverse because this Wands doesn't want to do that contract. It doesn't want to follow that footsteps, right? It doesn't want to sit here and clink cups. It keeps them up at night. It keeps them very, very worried. And so by ripping up that contract, it's now null and void. That's where I see the 4 of Swords, which is interesting that we have the 4 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. It's almost the same energy, but it's different this time. Whereas this one, I feel like they have no sense of, what am I seeing? It's almost like this one was like, you have to do this contract. This is your due diligence and your duty, and this is just how things are. You need to carry on the family name and the business or the pattern, karmic cycle, trait, whatever it is. And it keeps them up at night because they're like, I don't want to do this. And I don't even have a choice about this, because with the 9 of Swords, there literally is nothing you can do. No matter how much effort you kind of put in it, you just kind of have to like wait it out. In those moments, it's like not attaching to it, right? Because the more you get fearful, the more this fear can build. And it's like kind of letting go and just letting things happen, because the next card to actually come out is like one more sword is like absolute completion, devastation, like end of a day, like finito. But here over in the 4 of Swords, it's still the same kind of energy, right? There's only 3 swords looming over though, whereas this one has all 9. This one still has like, this is their sword, right? They still have their truth. And so this one I see more as not knowing what to do. And this one is all about like you taking control of the mind. Once you take control of the mind with your sword of truth, you don't let these ones looming over you control and dictate your actions. You're like, I do have a destiny. I do have a purpose. I'm allowed, right? justice says I'm allowed to go off. This one is trying to hold on and say, no, you can't, right? We got the Hierophant being like a little bit controlling. They're like, you do what I say. I already went through what you went through. I don't want you to get burned the same way I did on this opportunity. I see that you're really excited. I see you really want to go and try and learn, but I was also that way, and I just don't want you to get hurt. And it's hard to see that energy because we don't know, right? Take a family dynamic, take like siblings, and like maybe something with the parents, like something happened to the siblings. They had the same parents, but they both grow differently. It's how they interact in the moment and how they face challenges. It doesn't matter like what comes your way. It matters how many times you keep getting up and brushing yourself off and getting back into your heart and going forward and trying, which is what this cups energy is all about. And so this parent energy is like, you don't know, like I see it, the younger energy being like, you don't know my heart. I wouldn't react to the same way as you. You think we're the same person, but we're not the same person. And I'm seeing just a little bit of like vulnerability being seen as a weakness. But in the next phase, next one, this vulnerability, right, giving of this emotion is a strength. And so the Queen of Hearts doesn't really know that. Because it looks like in the past, the Queen of Cups, right, that one's kind of giving all this mad hatter party. So it just seems like there's a little bit of I'm seeing two people, right? Because it just seems to be two in the cards. It seems like these two kind of like play off each other. They keep feeding each other's fire and ego and things like that. It's like they both have the same trauma, maybe. And so with that, they resonate at that, and that's where they build this like safety amongst them, right? At one part, it was healing. It got them through that fiery encounter, but things have changed now. And I feel like with this, especially in reverse, the Queen of Cups kind of clink cups, but in the end, it didn't work out. And so it's like taking that and projecting it to the next one to say, well, you don't know, like, I'm just here to protect you. It's all out of love. Like, I'm doing this for us, but it's not letting this energy go off and be foolish on their own. And so even if you tell them the answer that you got through after all of this, after you got through all of this, they still wouldn't get the same knowledge as you. You could pass down your lessons, but it's the experience that kind of, and the emotions you felt in that got you to the knowledge, and they need to feel that too. It's just funny because I have a CoStar app, and that's what kind of like popped up on my screen, and it said on it, it was like, love is scary. That was like the energy of the day or something. And so that's very fitting of this reading. I feel like someone kind of came in the past, gave their cup to someone, and got burned. And so that's why they're like, well, no, I'm not even going to let you get burned. I'm going to protect you and isolate you before you even get a shot to grow into who you want to be. So I see with this energy, the difference between these two, I'm seeing this one being stronger mentally. This one looks more like they're meditating. They're sitting by the tree, right? Because it goes back to this tree, something to do with the ancestors, something to do with, now we're up in the tree very close. And that's that leaning on the tree kind of like taking that negative energy, helping you ground. I think that's the difference, is like whenever this thing happened in the past, it didn't get grounded. And so I feel like the energy spun out. It felt very chaotic or something like that. And all you have to do is just ground that. So they have their sword, and these three, yes, they're bugging them, right? It's looming over them. There's these thoughts, but it's controlling the mind and learning to tap more into the heart. And I must say, it's a totally different experience, because to have 9 swords looming over you, I almost feel like these 9 swords looming is the Queen of Hearts energy. 2 red in that. Okay, so this is the center energy. This is like the core of it all. And I almost put this one in the middle. This one really wants to cut through and like take center stage. It just doesn't want what happened in the past to happen again. Okay, so let's go a new direction. That's the energies that are coming out. But okay. I'm understanding that a little bit of what's coming through still, but it kept talking about something coming. That's kind of what I was like, I thought we were going to tap into. That's what I thought we were going to. And so once you kind of take your energy from this, realize mentally how strong you are, that you can choose vulnerability, and because you choose vulnerability, you have this cup. There's a teacup in the background too, but look, there's actually like a chalice. And I think that's the difference, is like I'm seeing the chalice almost represent more royalty, like leveling up. It's that vulnerability. You didn't choose the coffee cup. You didn't drink the juice or the poison that they wanted you to, the anger, the hate. Because look, when I look at this 2 of cups, I kept talking about like that genie pot being important. And that's the one that's kind of filling them both up. And they're both mad. And it's like, why do you want, and I'm getting like mad as in not crazy, but mad as in angry. But this one has a different cup. It started off that they had the same cup, the royalty cup, but eventually it like changed and changed and changed. Oh, that's that genie, can make a wish and change things. So something happened. They had that chalice energy, but somewhere along the lines they made a wish, and somehow it like turned their cups into teacups. And the teacups, I'm seeing the dormouse like sleeping. I'm seeing just like more docile energy. Yeah. Anyways, you're drinking from a totally different cup. So it's like, I see, right, there's an eternal spring here, or a waterfall. You're kind of getting your information from source. I feel like there's still intuition. In the past, they had those cups, they had that intuition, but they wished, they were kind of connected to the wrong source, right? This one's the waterfall, and this one was a little bit deceptive. This one had like jinn energy. And maybe jinn, I'm seeing like genie, but maybe it's gin, now alcohol or something, you know? So maybe you didn't have the best raising. So it's like spirit to say, call your mom. For some, they didn't have a good upbringing. In the last one, it seemed like, you know, it was someone who had a good upbringing and they just didn't have time for their mom or something like that. But in the story coming out now, they didn't have that great of an upbringing. They had a very controlling person. But Spirit's still saying, hey, you, call your mom. Make some time for them. There's something for you to heal and learn on your journey. Because once you do that, I feel like there's going to be emotional fulfillment and change. There's going to be, I feel like mentally, you really worked through a lot. You've cleared a lot of that extra looming things. I feel like whoever this energy was, you had just so much hanging over your head all the time. I'm almost seeing someone be worried about everything. And it wasn't even your responsibility to worry about that stuff. But now these three are, I'm hearing, whereas in the past, okay, 6 of them, 6 of the swords were from the Queen of Hearts. That's kind of what they like threw. They threw so much extra baggage over there. But 3 of them, the 3 now, is your thoughts, your energy, your creation, they say. So I'm almost seeing you be like, this is awesome, right? Because I get a choice to heal through my challenges. Whereas it seems like before, the person always throwing challenges at me was really trying to stop me from ever having challenges. And that is just weird. The math doesn't math for that. So I'm seeing meditation. I'm seeing you like work on your mind and your strength. And once you do that, there's a little bit of letting this contract go, following your own emotional experience. And once you do that, kind of getting your fire or your power back. That's the only thing that's missing, is it just seems to be a little bit suppressed. And so it's like, turn it up a few notches. It's always there. No one's ever snuffed out your flame, right? You're red hot. So we just started pulling more cards. I don't know why I didn't I just wanted to know the next one or the next thing to come. Oh yeah, it was like healing, and then maybe like a new partnership, or in it, I don't feel like it was all love. Like not everyone's just looking for a partner. It was whatever it was that you were always trying to work for is finally like going to come in that moment. So let's see what we got pulled out now. So we've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. So Seven of Cups is like too many options, right? Sometimes we go out in the world and we're like, wow, there's just so much to choose from. And I'm just seeing so much flashing lights and sounds and like horns and cars and like, I don't know, I'm just seeing like, and it's too much. And you have to make a decision. And sometimes I feel like that's what happened in the past, is like they got caught up in all this and this fancy flight, whatever this energy is. And they stayed in that, and that took them to the party, the Mad Hatter party, and kind of went a little bit madness. And that's where the mental energy couldn't think or decide anymore. So there's a little bit of, I'm not saying that this person's crazy, but I'm saying like mentally there's a war there. And within that war, that not being able to decide, to think straight, to have clear path like they used to, right? To be heart focused instead. That's where the mad came from. Mad about the mad. But this one's in reverse. So that's you knowing which way to go, right? You get to go make your own decisions. You've got these three swords looming over you, and you're like, you know what? I'm tired of them kind of like controlling my actions, my thoughts and behaviors. And you're going to kind of like lean into it and be like, what are you trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? You're like, my first challenge. I'm so excited. So we have the Hanged Man in reverse, followed by the Devil with Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, so the Hanged Man is all about you knowing which decision to go through. You don't want to get stuck at that party again, right? This clock, right, especially when it comes to the tea party, it will never end, right? If you kind of get into that energy, I find that the habits and the bonds formed within this tea party last a little bit longer than ever anticipated. And so someone could be like, oh, I'm just dipping my toe in the water. There is no just dipping the toe in the water, because it comes in the form of energy that you drink, right? It's what the energy that you take in. You can't just like avoid it, right? It doesn't exist. And so I feel someone being like, I'm gonna deal with this for a little bit, but I'll go back. And I think once you make a choice, it's almost like you're allowed to change your mind. You are, but I feel like you have to deal with the consequences of your choice. That's what they're saying. And I had this one insight before I came on, and I knew I was supposed to write it down. But what was it? It just blipped in there so freaking quick and then went away again. Whatever. Yeah, okay, so what about this Queen of Cups in reverse? Why is the Queen of Cups still in reverse? Okay, let's pull villain cards for this, because this is someone emotionally not giving, not caring. We got the Three of Swords in reverse, which is all about, Three of Swords is heartbreak, but if it's in reverse, there is no heartbreak. Like it's something, let me see here. I feel like for this, we're not going to do reversals. No. Okay. That makes sense. So what comes out of here? Okay. So this Queen of Cups got hurt, right? They had this betrayal, a massive betrayal. Something hurt their heart. It broke their heart, shattered their heart. So within that, that's when they become the Queen of Hearts. But actually, that's not the energy that's coming out. It's, okay, Cups is emotion. I'm seeing more like looks and beauty. And the next cards to come out was Seven of Wands with the Nine of Wands. And both of them are like the Queen from Snow White, like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most beautiful of all. And that's what I'm getting with this Queen of Cups, was they had their heart broken. Maybe it made them not feel good about themselves. Maybe it made them, oh yeah, Hanged Man in reverse, not actually view themselves at all. They thought that it was easier to control now, right? And that's why I feel like it's pushed on this person. But what was I wanting to say about this? After they got heartbroken, they went and they focused on beauty. They focused on the outside. They cared about what other people and the town and everyone else and the gossip and the was about them. So by them, they really focused on the mirror. And the more and more they focused on the mirror, the more and more they became very much consumed with the outer layer. And that's when this genie energy kind of did that swap. It went from being heart-focused and loving to heartbroken. And so if your heart's broken, I felt it as protection. And it's like, I'm going to boss up, right? I'm going to not let this ever happen again. And then it turning into the mind. So it no longer became like the Queen of Cups. And if you look at that, it's like the pink hair. That's actually the Bridget energy. When she was sweet, right? She had that super pink, like pink cupcake energy. And somewhere along the lines, she turns into this. So let me see here. Seven of Wands. Nine of Wands. I'm seeing they did their things in their past. They had their life lessons. They did their everything. There's not much that you can really do. I feel like they tried to help you so much avoid the same thing. But in doing so, they're like, hey, we need to be the same. And that's simply not true, because you have a higher mental vulnerability. And with that, you're actually connected more to your intuition and source. I feel like you had an advantage because you were raised with someone who would always raise the sword, raise their voice, were harsh. So for you, you've had a lot of practice when it comes to people taking advantage of you. Whereas in the Descendants show, Bridget was like super sugary sweet. So when something kind of happened to her, which we never find out, I don't know, I just hate the ending. But right, that's when that huge change came. But from the Queen of Hearts to having like red, she was raised with that. And now because she has that different change in view and that vulnerability, I feel like there's more boundaries. She's not going to let people come, like, right? A bully kind of comes. They have more grit to face it, is what I'm seeing. I don't know. There's just something to do with like a really healing conversation about how two were so different. And that's why I see like with the Queen of Hearts or whatever, you're not really wanting to reach out to them. Not right. All these cards are like, oh, just leave them, right? It was in reverse, but it was saying like, a zebra can't change its stripes. But this person did change, but could they change again? I don't know. But I feel like what they're doing has always tried to protect you. It's just in the weird, fucked up way that you can't understand, but it's like you didn't live their life to understand. So I feel like this conversation, it's like in the first one, it was someone so busy they never had time. And in this one, it's like someone being raised poorly in their perspective. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm just sorry the rest of the message was still coming. Them being raised poorly and like distancing themselves and being like, I can't deal with that person again. Like, I won't make time for that person. They'll never change. They'll never nothing. But in both cases, I see spirit. And also, when I was uploading the previous video, I was like, what about people, right? Because it was like, pick up the phone, call your mom. Like, spirit wants you to reach out to your mom. I was like, what about those who have lost their mom? And spirit was like, it's still the same message. You just pick up the energetic phone. I don't feel like a physical body, like, let's say you never get that opportunity to have like physical talk and closure. Well, energy never dies. There's still spirit. You're a soul having a human experience. And so there's still a soul. You could still work through this. You'll just have to make time a different way, right? Maybe you might not go for lunch. Maybe you will. Maybe you go for lunch on your own and just have memories. I don't know. But for those who are raised and just don't have time for their parents, or for those who are avoiding their parents, and for those whose parents aren't here, it's still the same message. Spirit's saying, like, reach out to them. For those who just don't have time, I feel like for you, it's just an easy slip back in, things will progress. For those who are avoiding, I feel like this is a little bit harder of a challenge, but it keeps saying you mentally already prepared bigger, right? You're vulnerable and you have boundaries. So you have boundaries to this person because this person has crossed your boundaries so many times, but you finally learned that lesson, right? So I feel like that's why I think the distance was needed. It was important, but now I feel like you've got that solid foundation, something to do with the trees and the roots and the ancestors. Spirit wants to give you something that you've been hoping and wishing and praying for. You're like, I'm not going to take it from the tricky way. I want it to be a gift from spirit. And so spirit's giving it to you, your ancestors, right? It ends with you in the line of whatever this karmic loop or cycle, or I don't know. But I still don't get to find out what this thing coming up is. But spirit is gifting it to you soon. Once this healing of aha moment, there's an epiphany within this, an understanding that brings your heart a little bit more clarity, your mind definitely a lot more clarity, but your heart more direction. And with that direction, this whole new I'm seeing open up, and it's instant. It's just kind of been blocked to you until you kind of release or heal. Something to do with the parents. Yeah. I feel like that's the message that we're going to get from this. And so we'll leave it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. I forgot to add my random 2 cents, but as this like movie Descendants, I've had so many synchronicities like coming up to it. I actually recorded this one video where it was all about like the red and the blue, and I saved it. I got so confused in this reading. I only got like halfway done it and like, this makes no sense, and so I just turned it off. And then I'm realizing that it was like all these synchronicities leading up to like this kind of story. There is something to do with, right, and especially in the Descendants, like red, right, Rise of Red, and within it she's fighting Cinderella, and Cinderella's blue. So within that reading, I had so much red and blue references throughout so many cards. And then the other day I was at the grocery store and I thought, hey, look at that, and it was like Star Wars Oreos, like red and blue. So I bought it, obviously, and I opened it, and I'll just show you. Because within it, it's like, are you of the dark side or are you of the light side? And when you open it, you don't really know, and it'll be all red or it'll be all blue, and it'll have like the characters of the cookies. And so I didn't really know that it was like that. I thought I was going to get like a row of red, row of blue, row of red, but I totally bought it on a spur because it kept showing up in the cards. But clearly we're of the light side. And so I just want to say, I feel like sometimes you deal with people who are like red hot energy, and love will always win. When you're of the light, when you choose a higher frequency, right, more mental clarity, you are able to, I feel like, oh yeah, that's the insight. Remember, I was like, there's something I learned and then I can't remember. It came in such a blip, but it does have to do with this. When it comes to those who are of the light, who have kind of been burned, they know what it's like to be of the light, right? And how they think. And then when they get burned, they kind of go and they swirl and they go in the underworld and they learn all that stuff too. And then they have a choice, right? Do you want to be good? You want to be bad? Do you want to be the light? You want to be in the dark? But those who choose the dark, I feel like of the light can understand both. And of the dark, they can know how the light thinks, but they'll never know how the light feels. And that is something, that's the advantage. That's where their vulnerability or their blind spot lies. So they will always kind of out manipulate or maneuver you because they'll be like one plan ahead. And that's it. But if you go by feeling, right? That's a wild card. And I think that's that Hanged Man in reverse energy. That's that you'll never know, right? It's that new surprise, that new blue, that new light emotion, something. But I just want to say, if you're kind of like battling between this, if you've been betrayed or crossed or something, like you can kind of give into those thoughts and let it go. I feel like there's so much to learn when you deal with your shadow side, the darkness, your demons, those kind of things, right? Facing the devil isn't that scary-ish per se. It's based on your ability to go with the flow and keep choosing love and keep choosing light. So at the end of the day, I feel like, especially for the one that had like a really tough upbringing, when you choose the light and you make that phone call and you get that healing, that's badass. So I'm gonna leave it there. Have a good day for the third time, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Ooh, third time's a charm. See ya.